Dory. Welcome back to the Dee and Dory Dream Designers. Design Dreamers? What are we?
We're the Design Dreamers. Yes, that's what we are.
Design Dreamers. Yes. Welcome back.
And Nathan will say a few words on and off through the video. So if you hear some side comments or see something, it's probably Nate.
Hi, Dory.
Hi, Nate. Yes, and for our inspirational saying, it's from Thomas Aquinas, which I will look up and put who he is. There is nothing on this earth to be prized more than true friendship.
Oh, that is true. That is wonderful saying. Yep, true friendship is a rare find, and some of us have friendships from like elementary school throughout our entire life, and others are newfound friendships.
Yes. So. Yep. And I thought about this when I thought about the make that you have for today, because you know, that's true friendship, what you did.
Aw, that's sweet. Thank you.
Yes.
I know what else to say for that.
Thank you. You got your cup?
Hey, yes, I have my cup. What do you have today in your cup?
Well, mine's by coconut water.
Oh, okay. Well, I switched mine up a little bit. I have chai tea in here, but it's the sweetened kind, and it's got milk in it. So it's like a dessert that you're drinking, and all those spices, it's wonderful. So if you don't have your cup, all of you, go get your cup, your glass or whatever, and sit back and chill with us.
Chilly.
Yeah, it is chilly. I think it's not even 30 outside right now at the time of the taping of this. So it's cold and snow all over.
Yes. Yeah. So you're going to show us what you made?
Okay, I will. And I'll kind of walk you a little bit through the process. I was asked to make some memory pillows for someone, and I had never done that before. So I went through all the YouTube, videos on it and read a little bit on it. And so I'll show you one of the finished projects.
First, tell us, what is a memory pillow? What does that mean?
A memory pillow is, in this particular case, is where you take an item of clothing, and what you see most frequently, yes, Nathan, night. Most frequently, yeah, he grabbed the pillow and he's hugging it.
Oh yeah. Pillows represent sleep.
That's right. And you take in this case, you take a man's shirt and you turn that shirt into a pillow. You take an item of their clothing and you make it into a pillow. Okay.
So is this person someone who is special to you, or someone who's passed away, or?
Well, this memory pillow was made for a request for someone who lost her grandfather, and she was very close to her family member, and she wanted these to for some of her family members. And Doris is right there, sweetie.
Nate, I'm here. I'm glad somebody wants me.
Okay, well, he's got the black and white buffalo check, so I will show this one. This is what they look like.
Oh, yeah, cute. Now, the pocket, is it the real pocket?
That's the real pocket. You can unbutton it. Yeah, you leave the pocket. I didn't take the pocket off and reposition it because it's an article of clothing that they wore. So, it could, the fabric underneath could be it could have discolored through the years. I don't know,
Right.
And you actually, there's two ways you can make them, but this particular way that I made them is you don't even sew up the front. You use the buttons, the opening for the shirt, to put the pillow form in.
And then if it needs to be washed, you can just
take it off and wash it.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is my favorite. This was the first one I made, and this is my favorite. I like the black and white. Of course, I like black and white.
Yeah.
So there's the pillow again. And I learned a few things that were not in the YouTube videos or in the instructionals for this. Pardon? Yes. So you like them, and these are made out of cotton. And then there were a couple of others that were made out of an acrylic shirt. The nice warm fuzzy.
So is it a flannel cotton, or just it's not flannel?
Yeah, the two shirts were flannel cottons, but the heavier duty type ones, yeah. So I'm really pleased at how I matched the plaids match. Nathan's grabbed that pillow right out of there. Anyway, so when I first went to make it, you know, being the first time doing that, I'm like, I'm not just gonna try it out on there. So I asked my husband, do you have shirts that you don't wear? And I at first looked to see if I had shirts. Yes. Okay. So he gave me one of his shirts that he didn't wear.
Oh, that looks like your husband's shirt.
Well, yeah, he said he's wore this once all the years he had it. I'm like, okay, fine. So this is an extra large. And the particular size I was going to make is an 18-inch pillow form. So I made this, or that it was to fit an 18-inch pillow form. So you can make them where you sew down the front and you do an envelope back.
Oh,
you can do that. So that's how I made this one, because this is a very large shirt. But come to find out, if you make them out of a size large, you don't have enough to make the envelope back on it. So
not for the 18-inch.
Not with the 18-inch, with the large. And in fact, the seams here, you want the pillow size needs to really go from shoulder to shoulder, because that's the widest point or the narrowest point of your fabric that you're going to use, because you put it clear to the collar point, right below that button, and you cut across there and then down the shoulders to cut it out. So I didn't have enough fabric to put the envelope backing on it. But this works just as well. In fact, most of the tutorials show you just to make it the button front and button it up and put it in.
It's much easier.
It is much easier to do it that way.
Poor Nate. He really wants those pillows.
He does.
I recognize when we reviewed the video that had the memory pillow in it, that the instructions that I gave were not very complete and did not contain the information that was needed for you to make a pillow, even though it is a very simple process. So I've got a sample shirt here to kind of walk you through the process to see how that was done. One of the important things to remember to know is what your measurement is between the sleeves, because that's as wide as your pillow form can be. The smaller your shirt, this is an extra large, so you have quite a bit of space here. But when you get down into a medium or just a large, it cuts out quite a bit of fabric. So you want to make sure that you have enough fabric across the width of the chest area where the sleeves are to insert your pillow form once you have completed sewing it. So you want to measure across here to see how large your pillow form can be, what the square is. Or if you're just going to stuff a pillow, it doesn't matter. You can make your square and then stuff it and then sew it up. So the first thing that you need to do, and you can see I've already got the sleeves cut out. The first thing that I did was, of course, you want to wash and dry your shirt or whatever item of clothing you're using, is I snipped right underneath the armhole. I snipped right into the fabric. I cut it single layer. I didn't go through both at once because I didn't want to cut into the fabric in the back part, because you're going to use that. So I went through and cut that and take that off for both sleeves is what I did that way. And so then you're done with the sleeves. Then the next thing that I did was I cut up along the side seams, and I have that done. Then I opened up the shirt. I opened it up, and the shirts are attached. The men's shirts usually have a yoke on the back, and then I cut across the yoke, just cut across there to separate them, and sometimes they have a pleat, which is fine. So now you have your two pieces of fabric to work with. Then you would want to iron your two pieces of fabric. As with any sewing project, you want to make sure that your fabric is ironed. Now, I take and smooth out up here on the collar area because you have a little extra fabric, and you want that to lay flat. You open up your shirt, make sure it's buttoned all the way down. For the particular one that I made, I did not sew down the opening where the buttons. I used the button, the placket there to insert the pillowcase with. And for whatever square size that you want to make your pillow, I find it helpful to make a template. This was an 18-inch one, and I folded it in half, so I got the center line, because you want to capture the pockets, at least I did. And I wanted the placket for the buttonholes to be in the center and lay straight. So I just kind of eyeballed it. It's not like rocket science to do that, and it's pretty easy. But you can measure, well, actually you can't measure it because the seams flare out sometimes on some men's shirts. So you want to have that guidance to go from the center to the center. From the top to the bottom of the piece. And then you pin this down, making sure that there's no lumps or bumps underneath it, and when it's ironed, it's much nicer. Now you'll notice this, because this is an extra large shirt, I have some space left where the sleeves were, but that's not always the case. Sometimes if your shirt is smaller and you can't quite get all of the fabric in there, you can cut into that little seam that's left from the armhole and incorporate that into your seam to get it. Sometimes they get that tight, but for the most part, if you've done your prep work ahead of time, you won't have that problem. So pin this down, cut it out, and cut right across here. I do not include the collar. This is just a simple basic memory pillow. And then once I have that cut out and my piece on here, my front part of my pillow, I'll lay out my back, right sides up. This is the wrong side. Right side up. And then I would place this, the right side, together on here, and wherever you want it. If you want to match plaid, you could try to match your plaids. Depends. A lot of men's shirts are plaid. You don't have to. It's just up to your own choice as to how you want to make it. And I lay this right sides together. I don't unpin it. And then I repin it onto the back, cut it out, and then I can take all the pins out once I've cut it out like that. And you have the right sides together, and you can just sew up your square once it's cut out on the sewing machine with your seam width. I used probably 1/2 inch, 5/8. And if you want to, you can serge the edges depending on the fabric. Some of it frays easier than others, depending on how you wanted to finish it out. And then unbutton your front part where you cut out the placket. Insert your pillowcase, button it back up, and you're good to go.
Any other questions about these?
So did you just make 2?
No, I made the red one and the black and white. Here, Nate, hang on to that one. You want to go night-night? I made a really pretty, there's a really pretty one. Isn't that pretty? And you can see this one here was an extra large. I'm not going to get to show you that. And so it's the pockets are placed out further. And then this one here is very pretty too. They're actually all turned out pretty good. And this one here is a red with, is that green or a teal through it? So very nice. Yeah, very nice memory pillows. And I was happy to be able to make them and then to learn how to do this. So, and the donation of my husband's shirt.
Well, I'm sure your friend is going to really appreciate them. That's a really nice idea, to make a memory pillow out of something that they wore. And so they know that, you know, it will remind them of them every time they see it.
And, you know, you could get creative with this. If it was a female, you know, you could use a blouse. You know, of course, sometimes women's tops are a little bit lighter and you might have to interface it or whatever, or put ruffles or however that particular person whatever
Bye-bye.
triggers that memory or was special to that person. And that way it's a nice keepsake.
Yeah, I could even think of like embroidering their name in one of the corners.
Yes, and I have seen some of them down here with their name, like in, we loved you, Grandpa, or we loved you, Grandma, or Mom and Dad, or whatever, that people have embroidered, and then they stitch it on the bottom. I would put it the opposite of the pocket myself to make it, so you could do that. So yeah, there's lots of ways you could go with this.
That's nice. Very nice. Good job. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. So now what do you have?
Well, I made my duster out of this.
Oh, yeah, I love that fabric. It's beautiful.
It's really soft and it's warm. Oh, it's cozy. It feels good today.
Yeah, good for these cold days.
I had actually said I was going to make it out of a different pattern than what I made it out of, because I had so much fabric, and I thought I might as well go for a long duster because I have enough fabric to do that. Because otherwise, if you don't have, then when I want to make the long duster, if I didn't have enough fabric, I couldn't make it.
Right, yeah.
If you don't have enough fabric, you can't do it. So this is Simplicity 8059. I've had this pattern for several years, wanting to make the long duster, but never having done it.
Yes, I remember when you got that pattern and you were all like, oh, I'm going to make some long dusters. And now it's been, you've gotten it done. Yay!
Finally did it. Yeah. So if you look at the detail, there's a little elastic in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Bit of elastic in it. And I did make the long duster.
Tilt it. It's glared. Tilt it. Yeah. There you go. That's good.
Oh, good. One of these days I will figure this out and you won't have to tell me.
Well, okay.
Yeah. She's not holding her breath on that one.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
So that's the one I made. I did make it in the large because the bust measurement was a half inch. It was a half inch too small in the medium, but I think it's a little large on me. But I thought, well, you wear something underneath it, so you want it larger rather than smaller. I don't want it to be tight, so maybe it's okay. I don't know, but there's a couple things I didn't do according to the pattern instructions. One is that they want you to sew up the sides and then sew your side seams to your sleeve, and then put your sleeve inside, and then
insert your sleeve. Yeah.
And for me, it is easier to do it the other way, so that I set my sleeve, then I did the sleeve and the seam all at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's easier for me than fussing around, going around and around.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, it is tight. It can be tight.
Yeah. So for me, that's what worked. And so that's what I did. The other thing is, this has a tie. You'll see it on me in a minute, but it has this little tie in the front.
Yeah.
And
can you turn around? Can I see the back real quick?
I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Am I positioned in a way to see it?
No, you're not. Okay.
Right here.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Because of the pattern makes it difficult. The fabric is pretty. So go ahead. Sorry.
So, anyway, they tell you how to, which I was impressed that it told you how to turn the ties rather than just say turn ties.
Right.
It said, take a needle and thread and knot the thread, and then thread the needle through and then push it over itself. Well, for a half hour, I messed around trying to do that. And the problem with this fabric was the knot that I would make in the string, in the thread, kept coming through. I'd be halfway down and it'd pop off.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So it wouldn't come on that. It would just come through so I was like, oh, what am I going to do? So I waited till my husband came home and I said, I know that one time you did this for me one other time. Remember this little tool?
Yeah, I remember you showed that once before.
Yep, I showed this once before, and I'm telling you, it took him not even 5 minutes to turn both of them.
Well, good. Yeah, you need to keep that handy.
It's in my sewing box now. So it's just got a little teeny hook that he made on it, and it's a wire. And he takes the hook, he hooks it on the fabric, and then he pinches it closed.
Oh, so it can't loop through.
So it won't loop through, and then he just slides it right through, and magic!
Yeah, just like that, it works.
Yay! It works! Yay! So would you like to see me model it for you?
I would.
All right, let's take a look.
I like the way it flows on you and moves, and I don't think it looks oversized much on you. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it looks great. So
I'm not worried about whether it looks like a house coat on me.
Oh, no. Well, only if you wear slippers with it, I think.
Yes.
You know?
Which is okay because it's so warm and cuddly. I don't mind it being a house coat, except for I want to wear it out, you know.
Yeah. That'll be nice. Well, yeah, because when you go out, you like to you bling up a little more than I do. So
yes. So yeah, that was my make that I said I would make, and that's the make I made. Oh boy.
You made that make, so I'm glad
Yes.
you made that.
I made the make I said I'd make.
Goofy. Oh.
All right.
Yeah, so I just want to say one thing before we wind up, and it's just like when you do something for somebody else, you know, it makes you feel good all over. So it's a nice thing to do. So think about that. Sometimes you can just gift somebody something small. It doesn't have to be something spectacular.
And doesn't it go with our inspirational saying?
Yes. There is nothing on this earth. Hold it still. I can't say it if you move it. There is nothing on this earth to be prized more than up, so I can see it, than true friendship. Thomas, whatever.
Yeah, Thomas. And then look at the little puppies and the kittens. Oh, doggone cute. Doggone cute. Okay. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed our little makes for this week. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We love hearing from you guys. And until next time, bye.
Bye. Thank you for watching.
Bye, John.